Hey, we're back. It's week 3, and this is your weekly reflection on my 90-day journey, 90 days to freedom, where I've been taking you guys behind the scenes as I quit my job and pursue my passions and dreams. And this week was another emotional one. I think probably I've cried more in the last 72 hours than I have in a very long time. And so we're going to get into all of that. But first, I want to start with the action steps. I need to get better into the flow of how I want these videos to go, because I think I kind of jump around between like my personal reflections and the action steps. But we're going to start with the action steps because that's the most important thing. You can want something, you can dream about it, you can manifest it all you want, but if you're not putting the action behind it, it's not going to come to fruition. So I have to remember to put my money where my mouth is. So this week's action steps kind of flowed from last week's, where I said I was kind of working on some of the back end things that I had previously set up years ago. And so I dived more into that this week. As part of the business, I have a couple of different offers in the form of digital products, one-on-one consultations, and then some bigger workshops that I'm planning. And so organizing all of those and allowing myself to really believe that I deserve to be in this space and that my expertise is valuable and that I do have the opportunity to help people is part of the mindset work. But also with that action, creating these things and allowing myself to remove that imposter syndrome that has come before, saying, you know, who are you to tell people to take this path, or who are you to charge this, or who are you to create this? And reminding myself that no, I deserve to be here. I have had this experience. I am being led and called to support people in the same arena of what I'm doing. And so creating these things and making the path and the journey easier to the end goal is part of what I'm supposed to be doing. And in order to do that, I have to put these things out. So it's been a lot of that this week, kind of revamping some previous digital products I had, creating some new ones, and also giving people a space to work with me on a more personal level if they feel guided to do that. So it's also, again, like I said, this mental shift of when I reflected last week on my money mindset and how that impacts how I price things and how I share things and what I feel like is valuable information. So again, it's almost like doing a bunch of mental gymnastics with myself. Like I'm literally beefing with me and reminding myself that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I'm supposed to be sharing. And it is my job, again, to put myself out there and let people find me, that it's okay for me to be seen, and that if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, other people might not have the opportunity to do what they're supposed to do. I always think about that quote that says, there are some people who are waiting on you to tap into your gifts, and me not tapping into my gifts doesn't allow this next person who may be waiting on that to tap into theirs. And I think about that often. I think there's a lot of truth to it, and I don't want to do that. I want to do what I'm supposed to do so that I can help and encourage and support other people to do what they're supposed to do. So that's been kind of the action steps this week, the back end on getting the digital products ready, getting myself ready to work with people one-on-one if they want to, and then reaching out for this idea for workshops that I have, and kind of perfecting it. I will start pitching again this week, because that kind of took a back seat this week because I needed to get some of those things on the back end up and running with the website and links and booking and all of that. And so this week, again, I will start pitching for the other part of the business, where I'll go directly to potential clients and put on these workshops. So that is the action steps for this week. So the first reflection this week was we went back to in-person learning, in-person school. The ongoing issues with Iran, because of that, we were online for several weeks. And that was the time that I was also in Sri Lanka. And now that we are back and there's a ceasefire, we have returned to in-person learning. And I thought for a moment that when I went back into a place that I thought I was going to be for, the next couple of years at least, and also was kind of creating a space for myself there that would allow me to grow if I wanted to, maybe even potentially into leadership. I thought that I would have a moment of regret or doubt in my choice to leave, and I'm happy to report that I did not. It felt good to be back, obviously, with the kids. We know in person is always going to be better. And I felt like such a sense of relief, in the sense that I knew that I was making the right decision. I didn't feel any doubt, regret, or any of that. And also, it's kind of making me more of a better teacher. I'm kind of in that energy of, this is going to be my last group of kids that I'm going to have this like direct impact on. And so what can I do in the next few months to really make the end of their third grade year just absolutely incredible, and push towards that growth that I want them to have. So that's been really great. I'm happy about that. I'm happy that I came back and I felt good. It wasn't awkward with admin or, anything else. And so I'm really happy with that. And it's almost more of that confirmation that I made the right choice in what I'm doing. So that's first. Now, the second reflection kind of came out of nowhere, and I wasn't really expecting it. And I again think it is something that's sort of propelling me towards what I am trying to create and build. So this week was my 34th birthday, Thursday, April 23rd. And with all of the energy that I've been feeling and the emotions and all of the thoughts that are constantly running through my head with this new change in my life, I kind of felt the need to self-isolate. And I'm not really that type of person often. I love to be around people. I'm very social, but something in my energy just called me to be alone on this 34th birthday. So I booked a staycation. As you can see, the view is different. We're not on my couch, right by the water. It's been gorgeous to wake up and look at. And I took myself to, I gotta make sure this mic is still on. I took myself to a nice restaurant, a nice French restaurant. If you know me, I love France, one of my favorite places. And so this place had good reviews. So I decided to take myself there for a solo dinner date. And during that dinner date, I called my mom and we had a conversation. And it kind of led to this realization of what it looks like when a dream has been deferred, when a dream has died, and when someone feels like they don't have the opportunity to follow those dreams. And that's not exactly what I was expecting from our birthday conversation, but I really think that I needed it. So I'm going to try to get through this without crying. I'm going to be very honest, as I have been. I have shared this story with close friends, and I cannot have the conversation without the tears welling up into my eyes, because it did really, here we go already, break my heart in a way that I was not expecting, but also again gave me this energy and this rush to propel myself forward with what I believe that I'm capable of and that what I can do. So to give you backstory, I actually haven't shared with my mother that I quit my job yet, and she's not on social media. So she may see this one day, but not now. And I didn't share it with her because I don't want her to worry. She's definitely one of those moms who wouldn't even understand going out and doing something on your own without, a stable job and, having that 9-to-5 as like something that makes sense. And maybe she would understand it. I don't know. I just don't want to have that extra pressure, if I'm being completely honest, of her worrying and asking questions about it as I'm currently building it, So I have chosen to keep that part from her for now. And I've also told my siblings not to say anything. So that is the backstory that we need, kind of context, because the conversation that we had about dreams was just so incredibly random, because here I am on my 34th birthday going through this period that she knows nothing about. And then she shares this reflection from her own life and her own dreams with me, not knowing what I'm doing. And I just feel like that is such a gift from God. I really, truly believe that. We were talking like we normally do, and I always have this reflection because my mom was a single mother, 6 kids, by herself. And at my age, my young age of 34, she had 6 kids at this time. And it's almost incomprehensible to me to imagine having 6 kids at this age in my life and doing that alone. I can't comprehend it. So we often have those conversations. I reflect a lot about my thoughts about her life and what I've seen and what I've learned and what I know and how she grew up, and thinking about the opportunities that I have created for myself. And we have 2 very, very, very different lives, right? So we kind of got into that conversation, and I kind of asked her, I said, well, did you want to do something that was kind of, out of that norm, or did you just not think that you had the opportunity or the access to do it? And my mom is an incredible singer. which is where I get it from. I mean, phenomenal. And I've always known that she had that dream, right? But we never really got super deep into it. It's just always something, that we knew that she wanted to do. And she said, when I had you, that dream kind of died because I had to take care of a kid. I had to take care of you. And my heart just sank. And we dived a little bit more into it. And then she started to cry. And then she started to share other things about that journey and that dream. And I just could see the grief in her eyes, that pain, that longing for something that you really desired but weren't able to access because you had to make other choices and other sacrifices. And that tore me. It ripped me wide open. And I think on a couple of different levels. One is, outside of her being my mother, this is another woman. This is another human, another person who has these ideas and thoughts and desires and passions, who has not had a chance to fully realize them. And my whole thing this whole time has been the idea that everyone deserves to do that. And I am currently in a space where I believe I deserve to do that. And now I'm allowing myself to have the opportunity to do that. So having that conversation with someone who is such an integral part of my life and realizing that they don't have that opportunity is heartbreaking. And I just couldn't get over it. And like I said, the biggest word that keeps coming up is just that grief for what could have almost been, but what wasn't. And I'm 34 years old. So to imagine that she has been living with this for 34 years is devastating to me. And then also the idea that she believes that dream is dead for her, that it's not possible, in any realm for her to continue to pursue something that she so much enjoyed, is also heartbreaking. Because my friend actually said this the other day, your dreams don't die until you do. And I fully believe that. It might sound crazy, it might sound out of touch, whatever, but if we are put on this earth to really live out our full potential and really reach that self-actualization, whatever that is, following through with your dreams and passions or whatever is given to you is part of that. And so for her to think that it's over is also heartbreaking. And then the last piece was almost in a crazy way, kind of looking into a mirror, which is also strange because me and my mom, if you've seen my mom, we pretty much look like twins. Like, people think we're sisters all the time. And so it was almost looking into a mirror and having this moment of, my God, this is what it would look like. This is what it would feel like to not follow through and do the things that I said I was going to do. And to be able to see that moment, not from a stranger, not from someone who I see as a mentor, but from my own mother, was insane. Like, that's the only word that I can think to attach to it, because I wasn't expecting that. And the timing, like I said, is just so incredibly, it feels aligned in almost like a scary way, right? Again, I'm turning 34. She doesn't know that I've quit my job. She doesn't know that I'm having all of these emotions and these thoughts and like wanting to pursue my dreams and really afraid of what it looks like to not pursue them. And here I am having an example of it right in front of me. And I wanted to just reach through the phone and grab her and hug her and tell her that it's not too late. Then I also thought to myself, how can I set myself up financially, mentally, emotionally to get to a place where then I can actually help her realize this dream in whatever capacity that may be possible, right? So again, me following my dreams not only will help other people follow theirs with the business that I'm creating, but I will also be able to have this opportunity to build up those who are in my inner circle. And that includes my mom, who still has this dream. I just will never forget the look in her eyes. And it's almost now I'm getting this further push to even do what I said I was going to do even harder, even more, because I deserve to follow my dreams, but so does she. And maybe giving myself permission to follow my dreams and do the things that I said I was going to do will give her permission, and will give other people permission to do the same thing. And that's really what I want at the end of the day. That's really what I desire. That's really the kind of impact that I would like to make. So I don't think I can talk much more about this without bawling my eyes out, and we're not going to cry on camera. We're not going to do that. So I'm going to stop right there. But that was the actions and the reflections. A little bit heavy, a dream deferred, right? But I wanted to share that because 51, mom's 51. She had me when she was 17. That to me is still relatively low. God willing, she has at least 20 to 30 more years left. You know what I mean? And so at what point do we decide that it's too late? At what point do we decide that it's too late, and why? And how can we come back from that? How do we give ourselves permission to decide that at any moment, at any time, we can do what we want to do. We can follow our dreams. We can do what we said we were going to do. At what point? Thank you all for watching, and all of the support and all of the kind words that everybody has been giving throughout this time. We are rolling up on a full month almost since I started this journey and quit my job and started documenting it. So that is pretty cool. Once again, if you enjoyed this video or something resonated with you, please leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We are at 212 followers, I think, as of the recording of this video. So we are very close to our first big goal of 500, and then of course to 1,000 to get fully monetized. And I've got some other travel vlogs and things coming because y'all would not believe my hard drive. You would not believe it. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week for the week 4 reflection. And don't forget that there are also daily updates on YouTube Shorts documenting how I'm feeling and reflections and action steps daily. I'll see you next time.